Can
All
you
right,
see
now
it
it's
now?
okay. Yes, now it's good.
Okay. So the title of this meeting was suggested by Vinicius. And I have to tell you that it was the perfect title to the idea I had when I first suggested this topic for us to talk about. So thank you very much, Vinicius, for your intuition.
For my 20 cents.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the discourse level. And when I suggested this topic to one of our meetings, pedagogical meetings, I based my choice and I based my opinion about it on the classes observations I had been making along the semester. And I can see that teachers really struggle uh, bringing communication and real communication to class. They're too worried to fill in the books. They're too worried to teach the grammar topics, and some teachers are not worried to to lead the students to effective communication, and that's our talk today. So we have some agreements. I would very much love to have you sharing your ideas. Your participation is very important. Uh, I would like you to have your webcams on if possible and when possible. The mics should be off, but you can turn them on if you want to share your ideas, please. And this is a free language environment, but there are only two languages you can speak. So it's not totally free because you cannot speak any of them. You can speak English or Portuguese. Feel free to use both languages. Just don't use a language we don't understand. Okay? Is that clear? Are the agreements agreed? All right. So let's play a little guessing game here. Who is this person? So there are some characteristics of this person, and I would like you to tell me who you think this person is. So he was born in New Zealand, and he is one of the most influential figures in English language teaching today. He emphasizes the importance of teaching chunks of language, expressions that naturally occur together, like collocations, formulas, sentence frames, rather than isolated words or grammar rules. He also believes in context-sensitive teaching, adapting our methods to fit the student's reality, to fit the student's needs and culture. Most importantly, he reminds us that language teaching should focus on meaningful communication, not just on grammar and rules and so on. And finally, he encourages us, teachers, to move beyond sentence level grammar and help students interpret and produce coherent texts. That's the idea of discourse competence. Who is he? Cassia, do you have any idea?
Sorry, no.
No? Florence, do you have any idea? Is there anybody else in the room, guys? No? Florence? Florence, maybe preparing
I'm
dinner.
thinking, I'm not good with names, but
there's a person. I don't know if it is a linguistic.
Mm,
Alice, Ryan. I don't remember the
it,
name, but
it's a
I know I've
man,
heard
so
before.
it's a man. He's one of
I think
our thinkers, teachers, philosophers. We
I
base
think it.
CELAP
I think there's.
methodology.
I think there's R in the name. I was trying to looking for the notes that I had in my notebook because I remember that you mentioned some important people in some courses like months ago, but I'm not sure.
We mentioned three of them, but today I only need one of them. Okay, so
Rod Alice,
Cut
Elise.
Thornbury. Yeah, and I
Oh,
based all the talking today, all my talking today is based on this book, Lexical Grammar. And I leave it as a suggestion for you because this the introduction is full of information about the discourse level, about chunks of language, and also you can find in this book also activities to teach to use in your classes. And if you want this book, just don't tell anybody I'm telling you this. If anybody asks me, I'll say it's a delusion. Okay? So I can send you the PDF of this book. Okay? So everything, all the information today is based on this book by him. And I follow him on LinkedIn. You should do the same. He has a website. You should watch his videos because the information he gives us is very, very meaningful and useful. Okay? So, the main ideas of our meeting today, first, we'll talk about chunks of language and how they help learners sound more natural and fluent. Okay? Well, we are not going to talk about it. You are going to talk about it because there's a task for you to do. Okay? Then we'll look at meaningful communication. We'll talk about meaningful communication, which is at the heart of any classroom, or at least it should be. And finally, we'll discuss how to move beyond word level and sentence level to reach the discourse level. Okay? I have a task for you. I would like you to answer these questions based on your teaching experience. But can I ask for your help? Can you read the questions,
Sure.
please?
Sure. First one, what's the chunk of language? The second one, define meaningful communication. Third one, define word level, sentence level, and discourse level.
Okay, so I would like your participation, Cassia and Florence. Lohane told me she would come a little bit late, but I think that it was not possible. She lives very far from the school. That's okay. So, girls, what is a chunk of language? Let's reflect. Asia, Florence, are you there?
some words or phrases that we use a lot. Usually we repeat these words or phrases a lot to express something
Can you
not
give
so
me an
good to explain.
example of a chunk?
Like, how are you? Morning, this kind of stuff.
Also, yeah, they're also chunks. I'm gonna say some words, some expressions, and you tell me if they're chunks or not. Okay? Bathroom. Is it a chunk?
I don't think
Is it a
so.
chunk? Bathroom.
I don't think so.
No, it's not. But when I say bathroom, please, is it a chunk?
Yeah. Please, we use a lot, maybe.
Uh-huh. So when we put two or more words together to make meaningful conversation or communication. Okay? So define meaningful communication. How would you define meaningful communication? You can also give me examples of your classes.
Well, according to what I have studied before, you have a message to transmit, but if you can't be, if you can't transmit this idea clearly, you are not communicating. So you need to send a message or to give the message, the information, and you really need to get some response, something in return of. You have the two sides, yeah, in the communication, not only you. It's you and the other. So the other needs to understand your message. If the others can't understand your message, you are not communicating. That's something about I have studied before.
Yeah.
Something
But
like that.
when you say clearly, what do you mean by that?
That the person got exactly what I'd like to teach. For example, I'd like
Does it
I
have
have a goal.
uh-huh. Does it have to be totally correct?
Not
Talking
exactly.
about grammar, for example.
I think it depends on your goal. If you have
Depends on
a if you have your topic, I need to teach something. The most important is to teach this topic, and it depends
Okay,
on the
let's
two.
let's take an example from our language, from Portuguese. When I say preciso ir no banheiro, is it meaningful communication? Does it make sense to you?
It's clear.
It's clear. Okay. Is it correct?
Well, there are different ways to say the same, maybe.
It's not
Uh,
correct because in Portuguese eu preciso ir ao banheiro, okay?
yeah, because of
But
the
people can
grammar.
completely understand when I say eu preciso ir no banheiro.
Yeah,
I made myself clear. The other person totally got my message. It's not totally correct, but the communication was there, wasn't it?
yes,
So consider meaningful communication exactly how you described. It must be clear to the other person, but not always correct. Mistakes can happen, and some of them do not interfere in the communication. Okay? Now, Florence. Florence, do you have anything to add?
No.
No? So I would like you to define what is word level when we talk about English teaching, English learning. Define word level, sentence level, and discourse level.
I think word level, it's when the student knows vocabulary, like he can recognize some words or use some words, but not in a sentence level, like making, a whole sentence, but they just um try to use what they know. When they mix sometimes Portuguese and English, I don't know if it's that, I'm just guessing. Sentence
You can
level.
give examples in Portuguese if you feel so. So don't worry.
I don't know if I remember something now. Sentence level, I think it's when they are able to use like sentences. Oh, may I go to the restroom? Can I drink water? Something like this. And discourse level, I think it's when they are able to express ideas in the language. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's easy to understand what they mean. Um, or when they try to do like a paragraph or something. I think maybe this would be like discourse level, but just I'm not sure about it.
Yeah, that's it. Word level. Let's compare. Um, let's compare these levels to our own language. O jeito que nós aprendemos. Nascemos, tem ainda um nível antes disso, né? Que eu diria que é o sound level, que a gente só balbucia. Ok? Blá, 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 abo, 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 que é amamamama. Quando a gente começa a fazer mamamá, abo, ao invés de falar água, falar abo, a gente começa o word level. Sentence level. Quer água? Quer abo, mamãe? Quer abo? Sentence level. Discourse level. Mãe, quero água, tô com sede. But this is a very gross idea. Because if I do this, water, isn't it meaningful communication? Please, water, isn't it meaningful communication? Or, may I drink some water? Or, may I drink some water? I'm very thirsty. Which of them are meaningful communication? Which one of these examples?
I think that if it's a child and just say water, I get it, that you want water.
Even
So I think
if you were
here,
talking to an adult, if the adult
yes.
says, water, don't you understand? Yeah? So I am not totally for word level and sentence level without talking about meaningful communication. Because meaningful communication can happen at any level, at any age. Okay? So I think the discourse competence can be developed, and correct me if I'm wrong. I think the discourse competence can be developed at the word level and at the sentence level at any age. And that's what I am going to try to raise your awareness about this. Kasia, what what are your students' ages? Qual segmento?
From 4 years old to 10, 11.
Okay, so you work with ensino infantil and fundamental 1, okay?
Yes, all of them.
And Florence works with fundamental 2 e médio, right? Is there anybody here? I saw that Charles was here. Is Charles here? I cannot see because I'm looking at the presentation. No? Tamis? No? Okay. So good. We have 2 teachers who work with students at different ages. So do you agree with me that meaningful communication can happen at any level,
Yes.
at any
Mhm.
age?
Yes.
Okay, good. So you agree, you all agree with me. Does anybody have anything to add here? Okay, so let's talk about English learning. When the students only know individual words, they have communication, but it is limited, okay? And when they expand to sentence patterns, they can use language in context. Is it possible to do it in ensino infantil? Is it something possible to happen when we talk about 2-year-old, 3-year-old children? Is it possible to teach them discourse level? So I'm going to tell you one example I have recently seen in a class. I visited a school, and the teacher started her lesson asking one of her students, who is 3 or 4 years old, to start asking his classmates, "How are you?" The teacher gave the student a flashcard with 4 different kinds of emojis: a happy one, an angry one, a hungry one, and a sleepy one. And then the teacher, of course, that the level I observed was the highest level, but I'm sure that the teacher had a progress with them from the very first beginning. What I saw at that moment was the result of a job that had been going on. And then the teacher asks the student to start asking his classmates. So one of them asks, "How are you?" The other kid answers, "I'm happy," and touches the emoji. Then the first kid who asked, "How are you?" asks, "Only happy, or is there a reason?" 3, 4 years old. Then the other kid, "There is a reason." Why? And then the data, their repertoire is over at that moment. And then they answer, "Porque eu amo a professora, porque eu amo você, porque eu adoro brincar com você, porque eu gosto de estar aqui." Then they answer in Portuguese. It's possible. Isn't it discourse level? For kids. I tried to record the video, but the audio is, it's impossible. It's impossible. That's why I told you, Tamis, we need the microphone. Yeah. Okay. So I just wanted to bring this example to you. I have a question for you before we go to the next slide. How is language formed? Do you know how language is formed? If you can say 2 or 3 parts of language, how would you name them? Wake up. The main parts of language. All the languages have it or have them.
The clause, not the clause, the verb, but maybe about grammar, this.
Grammar.
Mhm.
Grammar is one part of the language. This is one part. Does grammar have, sorry?
Sound. I think it's about the sound,
Sounds are
the
parts of
phonemes,
language. Mm-hmm. Perfect.
um, the lex. Oh,
Lexis. You mean
yeah,
vocabulary.
yeah,
Okay.
the vocabulary. But when
Yeah.
you ask how a language it's formed, it's I think the beginnings.
Yeah. First of all,
But I don't
there's
know if
much
this is
more.
the. Mhm.
There's much more than this in a language. But let's try to imagine the 3 most important parts of a language. Cassia has already mentioned one, which is grammar. Florence said vocabulary. This is a gross example, okay? This is a gross example because we know there is much more in a language. But there is one thing, one aspect of language that puts these 2 aspects, grammar and vocabulary, together. What is it? Oops, word level. You have already talked. This is
Context.
context. When we put words and grammar together, we need the context. It's something that it's impossible to forget when we are teaching any language. For example, when you are teaching, how old are you? Do you think your students will learn how old are you only by translating the words? Because if we translate how, quão, quanto, old, velho, are, é, you, você, does it make sense in Portuguese? It doesn't. So you must put vocabulary, grammar, and the context into action. Okay? The vocabulary gives us the building blocks, and the grammar organizes them. But the context is is it mortar? Is it the word, João? João is our walking dictionary. Mortar? Is it mortar, Tamis?
Mortar, yes.
Mortar.
Pronunciation.
Cimento. Glue that puts the blocks together.
We have cement and
Okay?
mortar. Both are right.
Mortar, yes. Okay? That's why teaching only vocabulary. Oh, but I'm teaching ensino infantil. I will teach only vocabulary. Will students learn? Maybe some words, a group of words. But will they learn how to put them in use? What about the context? When we teach ensino infantil, when we teach colors, what's the context? What's your favorite color? What color do you prefer? What color is your bedroom? What color do you hate? What color is your hair? What color does your friend prefer? There is vocabulary, grammar, and context. Okay? Do you agree with me? So, what's the conclusion about discourse level? That's when the discourse level is the ability to interpret and produce contextualized sentences, contextualized language in different situations. Because when we talk about colors, there are many situations that colors can be included. When we talk about animals, there are many situations in which animals can be included. Okay? So far, so good? Now, I will read some words, some sentences for you. I would like you to tell me if they're true or false, according to your own experience, okay? Kindergarten students can only produce language at the word level. True or false?
True.
True?
Cannot
Yes.
Yes, kindergarten students can only produce language at the word level.
only produce it.
False.
Now
I think they
understood.
can. I think they can do. They can produce in sentence level. How old are they? I think it's like 2 or 3, right?
3, 2,
Or
3, 4.
older.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think
Let's say
sentence
from
level.
3 on.
Yeah, I
Ensino
think it's false.
infantil can only produce, students at ensino infantil can only produce language at the word level. True or false?
I think it's false
Why?
because I think they can produce sentences, not only
Can they
words.
reach, can they have their discourse competence developed?
Yes, they can produce sentences with time. It's something that sometimes it's not going to be in the first class, but after a couple of weeks, they can produce like sentences. I'm feeling how they are feeling, what they like. I
Remember,
think, right?
yeah,
Or no?
remember, meaningful communication does not depend on words only, but also context. Okay? I'll tell you if it's true or false later. Elementary students can't form sentences yet. True or false?
True.
True? Elementary students can't form sentences.
False.
It's false. They can.
That's false? Okay, let's
Yes,
see.
they can.
Discourse level competence can only be reached by advanced learners.
By who?
Advanced learners.
False.
False.
Yes.
Yes, guys, they are all fake news. Don't believe people who tell you that your students in ensino infantil can only learn words. They can learn small chunks of language to reach meaningful communication. Of course, they won't be able to talk about the world's economic situation. They won't be able to do it. But if you develop their discourse competence, for example, they want to go to the bathroom and they ask you, professora, posso ir ao banheiro? It's a very long sentence for them to say, teacher, may I go to the bathroom? We should never underestimate our students. But anyway, teach them, teacher, bathroom, please. It's a chunk. Teach them chunks of language. Chunks of language are totally representing discourse level. Elementary students can't form sentences. Of course they can. Can you repeat, please? Teacher, I don't know. Teacher, what page? Or what's the page? What else do you usually hear in your classes of elementary students?
They love, teacher, can I drink water?
Yes. Oh, honey. So good to have you
Hello, I'm
here.
here.
I can see you because of the presentation. Yes. They can produce sentences and they can read discourse level as well. Discourse level can only be reached by advanced students. Fake news. Discourse level is a competence to be developed at any age, at any time, in every class. Okay? Even very young learners can start to build discourse. Of course, it's limited and it must be appropriate for their age and level. But I always tell teachers when I have the feedback, Lorraine is a living proof of that.
Yes, I
Ask
am.
your students to give you examples, to ask questions, to answer questions. Put that into context. Yes? For example, when a very small kid says, points to a dog and says, dog, big, it's a micro discourse level. First positive aspect. The kid could recognize the animal, it's a dog, and the size of it, it's big. And what's the role of the teacher in this case? Yes, it's a big dog. Can you say it? It's a big dog. Context, chunks of language. Yeah, for example, when elementary students are talking and one of them says, I love pizza, the other one can answer, me too. That's real communication. That's the beginning of a conversation, and that's totally discourse level. Okay? And when you give the right kind of support, even to lower level students, they will reach the discourse level in no time. Okay? Our job as teachers is to scaffold the process. And every time you prepare an activity, you have to think, how can I develop meaningful communication with my students in this activity? Oh, but it's a written activity. But in the correction, there can be real communication. Yes? So to wrap up, the connection between discourse level and Scott Thornbury's, he encourages teachers to view language as something alive and social. So when you teach beyond the sentence level, we include context, purpose, coherence, and we help our students not just to speak English, but to communicate effectively. Okay? Does anybody here have any questions? So far, so good. Let me check the time. All right. So I brought an activity to you. So John, if you can put them, how many teachers are there? 4 or 3?
4.
4. So John, can you put them into 2 rooms, 2 breakout rooms? Here,
Sure.
you have, I think I will stop sharing, and I will send on the chat. John, can you do it for me? Can you send this slide and the next slide
Yes. Just a second.
on the chat box to both pairs, to both groups?
Yes.
So this is an activity taken from our material for kindergarten students. You can see Butter, who is my favorite character. Then we have an activity taken from UK for elementary students and another activity taken from DC to Fundamental 2. Okay? I want you to take a look at these 3 different activities in pairs. Remember, here you can discuss in English, in Portuguese, just avoid Chinese because I do not understand, okay? So you will discuss simple and fast strategies to develop meaningful communication in each one of these activities, okay? Okay. So what are you supposed to do? Lohane, what do you have to do?
We need to see meaningful communication, meaningful. Can I use my words to explain?
Of course.
Okay. So we need to check the activities and see what we can take from the students using this kind of activities, but that has a deep context and more meaningful things.
Yeah. How can you make this activity meaningful? Okay. How many activities are there?
3.
3. If time allows, you can talk about 3 of them. If time does not allow, talk about 1 or 2, okay? You have 10 minutes. So there will be pairs in the breakout rooms. I'll give you 10 minutes, okay? And then after the 10 minutes, we'll be back to share our ideas. Think about how you can make this activity from the book an activity that is contextualized and where students can communicate. Okay? Okay, João, I will give you total control.
I'm not able to.
Go ahead.
That's amazing.
We're back.
Hello, everybody.
Brainstorm. Have you come up with good ideas? Of course you have. You are very smart teachers.
We tried.
Okay.
We tried.
I like the
tried.
confidence. Of course.
There's no trying here. There's getting. Teachers who work with me know there's no trying. There's getting. There's doing it. Okay. Let me come back. For this one, what ideas have you come up with for ensino infantil?
Cassie, I saw you making some notes. Please start this
Yes.
conversation.
Who?
I
Cassie.
suggest I suggest
Cassia
no.
took notes. Okay.
Yeah, I suggest to put the pictures in an order. For example, what do you do first? Number one, what is the number one? Well, number one, we wake up. Number two, what do you do after? So you can ask the children to participate
And
in
what chunks of
separating the
language?
pictures.
What chunks
Yeah,
of language would they produce?
yeah. I think the teacher should teach you here the verbs, yeah, the about the routine. I don't know the chunks.
Yeah,
Okay, but what chunk? For example, for the picture in the middle, this picture here, what chunk of language? This one here. Wait a moment. Oh my God.
I could explore the picture. I'm not sure. Is it hot? Is it cold? I don't know.
we first we talked about the routine. So they're going to talk about that routine. So for example, we can use in the morning, I wake up, in the
Mhm.
morning I have breakfast, and I take a shower. This is the one example. And the other, it can be like at night, or in the evening,
Mm.
we play, I play,
I For
I,
them, for students at this age, it makes much more sense for them to say I, because that's
uh-huh.
real life for them, right? But nothing can stop you from teaching he, she, but it depends on the level of students. It depends on, remember to teach the chunks of language according to the objectives of the activity. Because there's no way you can teach, for example, I uh, for example, I I like to eat pizza. This is
Mm-hmm.
not the topic of the lesson, right? So the
Yeah.
chunks should always be related to the the, the main objectives. I strongly recommend you to take a look at the CFR can do's here. So students are ready to recognize and say the places in the city and some actions we do at home. So I wake up, I take a shower, I drink water, I go to bed, things
Mm-hmm.
they do at home. So remember that. Any other idea?
We talked about a role play, a small role play, and mimic, that they can do that. For example, someone starts doing a movement and a demonstration, and the other students need to guess what is he doing, guys. Oh, he's taking a shower. Even though they speak wrongly in the first moment, they make some mistakes. It's okay. We can just uh correct softly, and just if we judge necessary.
Great. Remember, make your students use language, meaningful communication.
Mhm.
You can do the exercise here. Look, listen, and circle. What does Butter do in her house? But you can have a follow-up activity to make them produce as well. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Perfect. Oh my God, how can I remove that? Okay, let me see the next slide. João, help me. Okay, I got it. Next slide. What have you got for UK? This is UK 3, I think.
Yeah.
Yes, UK 3.
Once again, we are talking about routine, but now we have the days of the week. So I give an example that I like to do with my students, that I start the class talking about my own routine. So I give them a context first. I give my context, like, oh guys, on Mondays, I don't go to school. I work in my house. On Tuesdays, I go to school. On Wednesdays, I play soccer. What about you, Fulano? Do you play soccer on Wednesdays? No, teacher, I don't play. No, teacher, no. Oh, so when do you play soccer? And then they start producing starting with my own routine. I can introduce their own routines. Oh, teacher, I play soccer too. Oh, teacher, I go to school on Tuesday. So they start giving
This is a technique that's called personalization.
Yeah.
Yeah, you put your own information in order to make, well, the students are very interested in the teacher's lives. So
yeah. And Florence talked about the pictures, that we could mention the pictures and ask them what is happening in the first picture, and then they describe what they see. We can use some other words that they can bring, even though it's not mainly part of the context, but they can bring their own vocabulary. Oh, teacher, he is studying, or he has a computer. They are playing some these vocabularies that so do you play every day? Do you play on Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every day? We can use this kind of things too.
And forget about the idea. Lo, I always tell this to teachers who work with me. Forget about the idea that you should be the only one who asks questions in class. Have your students ask. Ask your friend. Take a look at the pictures and use the information in the picture to ask your friend. Start with, do you? Do you?
Okay.
It's important because then you can make them practice interrogative form, short answers, complete answers. Remember that. When you make your students talk more, when you make your students ask the questions you would like to ask, you decrease your TTT, your teacher talking time, and you increase the students' talking time. Okay? Remember that. You are not the only one who should be asking questions in class. You can ask your students to ask their classmates as well. And exploring the pictures is a very good idea as well. Yeah? Great. I wanted you to be simple. It's like this, something fast. What can I do? Not big plans. You can have a follow-up activity, for example. Oh, you are going to make your weekly planner and compare to your friends. That's okay. That's also okay. But remember, how can I make my students talk? Fast actions to make my students talk. Okay? And for the last activity, any idea? It's also about routine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, can you repeat the
I was
question?
thinking,
Oh,
sorry, go on.
Go ahead.
I was thinking about connecting the three activities. So at the decoding, I could start with the first activity using the pictures. If you show some pictures about exercise, free time, and after ask the students, what can you see here? What are they doing? Please make some sentence about these pictures.
Ask your
What are we
friend.
talking about? Yeah, something. And after start like the number one, how do you spend your free time? Do you watch TV? How much time? So then ask some questions, discuss about the topic before start reading and tell them, well, now we have a quiz. You can check if you are a couch potato or not. Something like
And remember to encourage them to give you chunks of language. Not only, although we know it's perfectly understanding when we say yes or just no. Yes, they are learners. They need some more input. Encourage your students to produce for ensino infantil chunks, small sentences, contextualized. For Fundamental 1, the sentence can be longer. And for Fundamental 2, they can use extra information. They can add extra information. Okay? So use your creativity. I know you are very creative teachers. Was that a good exercise to make you think about it?
For sure.
I love it. I can see her name now. Lohane, I guess.
Lorraine,
Yes,
Yes.
she gave a very nice tip that I'm gonna use it for sure about asking, making questions. For example, the first one there, like, oh, how do you spend your free time, or any other questions to warm up, and without asking them to open the book. So start
mm-hmm.
a warm up, and I didn't think about it. I just always like, okay, let's open the book page, and I was like,
You
oh my
did it
goodness,
on your
that's
last
a very
class,
good
Florence.
idea.
Remember when you talked about parties? You
Yes,
started the class without asking them to open their books.
yes, but was not something that I was aware of, you know.
It's because you make it more, you make it less formal for them.
Yeah, yes, no, totally, totally.
Yeah.
But I like this suggestion because when we are when we are starting a new unit or chapter in the book, I think it's easier. But in the middle of the class, like, oh, you just have to do a correction or something, I think it's more difficult. But I was thinking about using this strategy even for things that it's not that new for them, even when we just have to
You
do
can
like,
use it whenever you feel like.
yes. But it was
Okay.
different the way she thought she was talking. So I really liked this
That's
idea.
why I always tell teachers, share your ideas, talk. The teacher's lounge is there for you to use it. You can ask questions in the teacher's lounge. Guys, I need help. How would you do this activity? You can do it. Okay? You can ask universitários there. All right, guys, as we finish, thank you very much for your contributions. You were awesome. So, as we finish our session today, I'd like to leave you with a few final thoughts. These thoughts are mine, and I want to show them to you, to display my thoughts to you, because it's something I always tell the teachers, and I do not get tired of it. So do not underestimate your students, even young learners or the ones who seem to struggle a little bit. They all have incredible potential. Sometimes all they need is for us to believe they can communicate, even in simple ways. Every word, every gesture, every attempt to make meaning, that's communication in progress. Okay? Sensitive teaching promotes more connections among your students. When we pay attention to students' needs, emotions, interests, and backgrounds, we create a classroom where students feel safe to take risks and to express themselves. Language grows best in an environment of trust. I love this word, trust, and empathy. When planning a lesson, always ask yourself, I always say the same thing to everybody. How can I make my students communicate? And I would add something here, communicate effectively. It's not just about finishing the book. Teachers are too worried about finishing the book, covering the grammar topics. It's about creating moments, guys. Moments where students really use English to connect. They can express opinions, tell stories, negotiate meaning. This is so important. And more important than that is when we make them learn from each other. Okay? And finally, it's up to you to bring context to your classes. When Lorraine told you to close the book and make it more informal, you were bringing context to your lessons. Make it happen. You are the ones who can make language come alive through songs, games, stories, videos, real life situations. You have to bring meaning to them. And where there's meaning and when there's meaning, communication naturally happens, for sure. So let's make it happen. Please help your students to reach the discourse level step by step with the confidence you have and with the creativity I'm sure you all have. Otherwise, you wouldn't be teachers. Okay? Any question?
Okay.
Thank you. Remember this train. Take your students to the next station, to the next level.
Thank you,
Any
Camila.
questions, guys? Any questions? Cassia, Lorraine, Florence. Is Charles there? I didn't see him. So whenever you have questions, whenever you have doubts on how to work with a specific kind of activity, please ask your consultants. We are there to help you. Use the teacher's lounge, please. Sharing ideas can give you more information than you can ever imagine. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you very much, Cassia. Thank you, Lorraine. Thank you, Florence. I hope it helps you all in your lessons, in your classes, in preparing your classes. And that's it. Thank you very much for your presence.
Thank you
Camila. It
for
was
the
very helpful.
opportunity.
Thank you.